This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
Hello and welcome to another episode of C2C Rakem. I'm the host, Big B, joined by, as always, with the guy halfway across the world, the Prime Oos, who is now the CEO of the Oozy Fruit. Okay, so how's it going, buddy?
I'm doing good. The reason why I put that in there, because I know United States has a gum called Juicy Fruit, and I figured why not be the CEO of Oozy Fruit?
There you go. There you go.
I'm doing good. Excited. We've got one of our favorites. Got a chance to watch the Royal Rumble, so that was interesting. I to be honest, one of the people that I wanted to win the Rumble won. The other one, not so much, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's and we'll cover that tonight on Between the Ropes, the Rumble, and our thoughts and all that. But yeah, we got we're bringing back birthdays. We finished up Weird Laws states, and we'll have to figure out another good state one. But right now, we'll do the birthdays. So. Of course, January, we got a lot of birthdays. I know my family, Tim, as you know, has a lot of birthdays in January. So with that being said, let's start off with the Jan 8. Just by quick glance when I was looking through it, there's a lot. Honestly, I'm not going to predict 5. I could see us going 5 for 5, but I will go 3.
I'll go 3. I think 4 is a possibility.
Yep.
I kind of have a curveball at my number 5.
Oh,
because of a certain person on another show. I thought it'd be nice to throw this curveball.
All right. Well, go ahead and you start off with your curveball as normal.
You have no idea. Matter of fact, you're right. I am going to start off with this curveball. And when I saw this name, the first person I thought of right away was Dragon Viper. He shows up on a lot of our shows, and he's a former wrestler, but he's also the father of a wrestler, and he's also the grandfather of a wrestler. And when I saw this, I'm like, yeah, I want Dragon Viper to know that he's on my radar and that I pay attention to you. And it's amazing when you find out that Rey Mysterio Sr. is born on January 8th. So, and if everybody knows, the claim to fame for Rey Mysterio Sr. is that he is the grandfather of one dirty Dominic Mysterio.
The claim to fame. I like that. I honestly missed that one because I wouldn't even tied the two together, and I probably would have had them up higher because then you would have sniped me. But all right, so 5 is out.
Okay.
But my number 5. We're at that time of year where it's the Super Bowl, and again, you can catch our morning tailgate, which will break down Super Bowl and awards and all that here next coming weeks. But my number 5, you see a lot of his clips, or the clip, I should say, around this time, and that's the catch in 1981, I believe it was, and that's Mr. Dwight Clark in the back of the end zone.
We started early. You started early. I figured you might. This which makes me now wonder what you've got at 4 through 1 at this point.
Are you serious? You're going to question what? I mean, we looked at the same list. You better
We looked at the
know
same,
what
who
my
did I,
top
at
was.
this point, who did I miss, or who did I purposely leave off?
Yeah.
Who did I purposely leave off for my curveball at number 5?
Yeah.
So we might as well get our motto out right now. Not
Let me pull it up.
C2C unless we're sniping.
Yep.
Yeah,
Where is it?
it's. I thought you had him. No, truthfully, he's right. He's in where I thought I would have had him if I didn't skip somebody. But my number 4 is your number 5.
Where's our sniper button at?
It's there somewhere.
Yeah, there it is.
You just
So
go.
you have
You
him at
just
number 4.
go around and you just go around it and touch it. You'll figure it out where the button's at.
Yeah, there it is. All right, my number 4. I got 2 here, so we could possibly still get 4. One is a local Ty Homer pick. Not a big fan of his, but when we brought him in, he could have been our ace. I think I think he was with Brad Racky, so Racky was announced the ace. But the other one, former Cub, I believe it was. So one is Carl Provado, the other one is Bruce Sutter, former Brave pitcher.
Cardinal.
Yeah, Cardinal, that's who it was. Yeah, so that's my number 4.
I think, as a matter of fact, I think Bruce Sutter was in Chicago too.
Yeah. So you're number 3.
My number 3. A former guest star on The Big Bang Theory, considered one of the most smartest people that have ever been on this planet. Funny thing is, I think he's lived the longest with ALS. I think too, if I'm not mistaken, he's lived longer than anybody else in the history of man who's ever had ALS, and it's crazy because he got ALS in what, the 70s, 60s or the 70s, and he just passed away 3-4 years ago. The basically the grandfather of string theory. Is basically the only way I know what string theory is because of the Big Bang Theory. My number 3 is Stephen Hawking.
Yep. My number 3, I believe he was in a movie that I don't really like too much. Singer, songwriter, actor. And that's one, Mr. David Bowie.
Oh, now who did I miss? Holy smokes! Now you got me thinking who I missed it too.
All right, number 2.
Unless you flipped, that's the only way this works. Yeah, my number 2. Well, we're gonna go back to that thing that I said at number 4. It's not C2C unless you're sniping. My number 2 is your number 3, Mr. David Bowie, and the movie you're thinking of probably is The Labyrinth.
Yes, Labyrinth. I couldn't think of that. So, well, we'll go back to back because my number 2 is definitely your number 3, and that is one Stephen Hawkins. I don't know if number 1 we could consider sniping because, but go ahead with your number 1.
How do I go with this? My number 1's claim to fame is he's the twin brother of the king of rock and roll. No, I'm kidding. My number, I kind of gave that one away. My number 1 is the father-in-law, the former father-in-law of the king of pop. Oh, wait, can't say that either. My number 1 is the king of rock and roll, the homeowner of Graceland and many panty drops at concerts of women of the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and probably some 60s and 70-year-old women of today. So my number 1 is Elvis Presley.
Yeah, I don't know if we can consider that a snipe because if we don't have him at number, and especially for you, my Aunt Tammy, big Elvis fan. If I didn't have her at him at number 1, I mean, that would have just been disgrace. But Yeah, Elvis number one definitely for the.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, and if I don't have Elvis Presley, I can't come back home for family reunions and stuff of that nature.
I mean, Stephen Hawkins would have been. I mean, if you would have put Hawkins at one, I think that would have been an argument. But yeah, so
it would have been a weird argument.
It would have been. But let's move on. So we went 3 for 5.
We went
We're
4.
going to move on to number what?
We technically went 4.
Well, okay, we got 4 because we got Elvis together.
Well, we had Elvis. We had Elvis together. We had Stephen Hawking. We had David Bowie. We had and Dwight Clark.
Yeah, we got 4 together. Yeah, you're right. So, but we're not going to count one as a snipe because
no.
But anyways, we're moving on to January 12th, which was my mom's birthday. So again, happy birthday to my mom.
And the weird thing is, it's my nephew Roman's birthday. So
yeah. So all right. So I will start.
How many? How many? Because this is.
I can see us getting number 1 again, right?
Maybe. I have a curve. Let's just say I have a curveball.
Ooh. See, I kind of thought I had the curveball. It'd be funny if it was the same one. I'm going to go 3 again. I think there's 3 names that jumped out right away.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I am going to go with my number 5, and I'm going to go with she was part of the group Spice Girls. I don't know if she's doing much recently, but Mel C.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah,
I saw that one. I haven't heard squat from her. Which one?
I haven't heard much from her either.
She's Sporty Spice, or what was that? She's Sporty Spice?
Yeah, I have to look. I'm not positive. So, all right, go with your number 5.
My number 5. If you were, my number 5 is an NBA player. To me, I think, if Michael Jordan was never in the league, I would have considered this the best pure dunker in the NBA history. I know people out there will go, you're not talking about Dr. J. You're right. I'm not talking about Dr. J. I remember him a lot. I know he did a little time in Boston, I want to think, for like a couple years, but everybody remembers him lining up alongside Kevin Willis in Atlanta. To me, my number 5 is probably the best pure dunker outside of Michael Jordan to ever play the game. My number 5 is Dominique Wilkins.
Yeah, my number 4, the human highlight reel, they called him. He's up there. He's definitely top 5. I mean, you got Vince, you got Jordan, you got Wilkins. LeBron in his younger day was a pretty good dunker, but yeah, Dominique Wilkins at number 4.
I think Sean Kemp's a better dunker than Jordan, or not? No, not Jordan. Sorry, LeBron.
Sean Kemp could fly too. Sean Kemp was another good one too. So, all right, you're number 4.
My number 4, Major League Baseball pitcher. Everybody, I think he briefly did a stint in Texas. Or not Texas. Why do I keep getting the names wrong? I think of the team. I thinking of the team's mascot, and then I all of a sudden put him in a different city, which is funny because I think at the time I think Bacon would have loved to have had him on the Rangers at the time. Matter of fact, I think with your former one that you brought up in the last one, you put this guy next to Carl Pavano in Texas. You got a pretty decent pitching staff. But you're going to remember him. And I was lucky. I was at an Orlando game. Who was it? Orlando? And then, no, I can't remember who it was. I was at an Orlando game because my brother won tickets, which was really shocking that my brother won tickets for the Orlando Magic and to see Ewing and Ewing as a coach and Dwight Howard on the court. But the star that they showed on the screen was my number 4, the former pitcher of the Florida/Miami Marlins, Dontrell Willis.
Oh, okay, yeah, that he was a good one. I wish he would have. I think injury stopped his career kind of bit. It would have been nice to see him. Wasn't he a part? Wasn't Pavano and him together in Miami?
I think they were both in Miami. I
Yeah.
know. Yeah, and it was, I think the fire sale sent Pavano to Texas,
Yeah, and then so
and then to Minnesota.
yeah, so I'm on number 3.
Yep.
My number 3, I think some would consider him to be one of weirdest minds when it comes to his genre of scary films, I guess you could say.
I had to think about who did I miss, and then I remembered it. Now who you're talking about, I'm going,
And that's one Rod Zombie.
I was like, who did I miss? And I saw the name, and I'm like, I passed on Rod Zombie, so I can snipe you right here.
Okay.
My number 3, she's known for 2 roles. Female actor. She's known most known for replacing Shelley Long on Cheers.
Oh no, did I miss?
So I guess I'm not sniping at this point. But and for a lot of us, we also remember her acting alongside John Travolta in Look Who's Talking and Look Who's Talking Now.
No,
And
I missed her.
My number 3 is Kirstie Alley.
Yes, man.
Who's
that would have took Mel C off of this list.
Who's gonna take who's coming to hunt you down after this?
Yeah, no, one beautiful lady too. She was a heck of an actress. Yeah, Cheers and yeah, Look Who's Talking. And the thing is with Look Who's Talking, I don't know if that movie goes into the second and third one without her in there.
Yeah, without either one, I don't think without Travolta or Alley, I don't think that goes to number, or Bruce Willis, matter of fact, on that part.
Yeah. My number 2, to me, wasn't really a big fan of his until his movie came out. And then got I don't know how true it was, but I kind of got liking the guy and then just started watching his late night shows, and he could always get the guests to do what they wanted, even though they tell him right off the bat they're not going to do what they want him to do, or the ladies, I should say. And he's had some famous actors on there, famous people, wrestling, sports, supermodels and stuff on there.
Who did I miss?
Oh, that's one, Howard Stern.
Oh no, I took him off for number 3. Okay, cool. I took Howard Stern off to put Kirstie Alley on. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right, you're number 2.
My number 2. Now I have a bad feeling. Our number 1 might not be the same. My number 2 is my curveball.
Okay.
I'm going to say this, and hopefully that my brother's not watching. But I hope he is, because we'll know in a second if he is. My brother included, because there's this running joke that my brother's Canadian. So, I've been lucky to eat at one of these restaurants while I was in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
You didn't do it.
Huh?
Go ahead.
The day after, I went to one of these restaurants the day after I went to a Tenacious D concert in Grand Rapids. This was all of about 20 years ago at this point, 21 years ago. I didn't realize this was named after a hockey player in Canada.
Dang it. I took this one off.
and I've had some Timbits, and and I'm gonna somebody's gonna say you didn't go to this restaurant because they don't have them in the United States, and they're probably right. I think it was a Bob Evans, to be honest. But you go to Canada, I've seen plenty of them. Don't get me wrong. When I was in Sioux, Canada, but my number two is a hockey player and the co-founder of the Tim Hortons restaurants, Mr. Tim Horton.
Yeah, I had him. I had him on there, and then I'm like,
Shoot.
yep,
Oh,
yep.
I didn't think you would have. I didn't think you would have.
Yeah, I saw it too. I saw the hockey player. I'm like Horton, and then actually I started thinking of the animated character for some reason, and then it said founder of restaurant. I'm like, well, I'm a big guy. Let's put that on there, and I took him off. My number one, some probably arguably would say definitely top 1 or 2 in boxing. Maybe best pound for pound wrestler.
Wrestler?
Or fighter. But that's one, Joe Frazier.
I didn't put him on.
Oh, wow. That's the one I thought we would have nailed. All right, you're number one.
My number one, I didn't realize that one of the richest men in the United States was going to get missed. I didn't think it was going to be that powerful. I have officially become addicted to this website. Yeah. It's crazy because I think everything now I seem to buy off this website. My number one, matter of fact, I think he just sold this company, which is even worse. My number one is the founder of Amazon, Mr. Jeff Bezos.
I overlooked it, but yeah, we do a lot of shopping on Amazon. Definitely do a lot of shopping on Amazon. So, all right, so one.
And it was who was it? It was Kirstie Alley. It was Dominique.
Yeah.
One.
I thought for sure we'd have Frazier at number one.
One, and we could have had three.
We would have had two if I didn't take the Horton, and I would have sniped you at 3 on that one. So
yeah.
All right. So let's move on to the 13th.
That's
interesting.
That's my stepson's birthday. He just turned 16, so it's now.
Happy birthday to that guy, and
I'm trying not to be suicidal.
Yeah, I don't know. I gotta go with 2 because
I've got a huge curveball at number 2.
This one, and I think it was the 25th. I had a hard time finding a good group of people. So, all right, well, kick it off.
All right. So, this guy has been. It's strange because most people don't know him now. They all recognize him as Mr. Katy Perry, because now he's married to Katy Perry. He's got a child with Katy Perry. But before all that, we started seeing him. When you realize his first movie was Black Hawk Down. I had to say that slower because if I don't, it turns into a 4 bros statement. And he dies very early, if I'm not mistaken, in Black Hawk Down. But everybody remembers him as Legolas in the Lord of the Ring and the Hobbit trilogies. They also remember him as Will Turner in the Pirates of the Caribbean movie. My number 5 is Orlando Bloom.
I saw him on there, and the name stuck out to me, and I was like, okay, I know the name, and I couldn't really think who he was, but yeah, saw the name. My number 5, I like comedians, not a huge fan of this guy, and a lot of people aren't, but I put him on there because
this will tell you if I am.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think. I know he's made some cameos in some sitcoms that I've seen. Has a wild dress, suits and stuff like that, wild hair. That's one, Rip Taylor.
Yeah. Yep. Nope. Couldn't do it. I saw it. And I'm like, I will put I can't remember. I think Goering was on this day too, and I'm like, I'll put Goering on before I put Rip
Yeah,
Taylor.
I saw a couple of those names too. I'm just like, all right, you're number 4.
All right, my number 4. I am going to tell you. I'm going to preface this by saying I took Patrick Dempsey off this list when I realized who was born on this day, and he, to be honest, any other day I think he would have been number 1.
Ooh.
It's crazy to realize we lost this guy way too soon, and to realize that the reason why we lost him way too soon, was because he was doing something heroic by saving his own child, drowned by saving his own kid, and it breaks every wrestling fan's heart knowing that this guy probably had bigger and better and brighter lights in front of him. My number 4 is Shad Gaspard.
Yeah, that was I don't want to put deaths together as being very recent and being just shocking, but I mean that and the Bray Wyatt one.
That was huge. When I heard that, it felt like I had been kicked in the face and in the chest at the same time. I'm like, I loved him when he was with the primetime players. I thought that team was going somewhere, and then it's just like we just got knocked out of. We got knocked out for But if we're gonna lose, he was doing something heroic. It sucks that we lost him, but that makes us even more prouder that we actually got a chance to see him because of how he died and why he died.
Exactly. My number 4, probably one of the top 5 reasons why I watch golf here and there outside of Tiger Woods and multi-champion. Don't know what else to say about the guy. So my number 4 is Mark O'Mara.
Saw that one. I thought honest, that would have been another one that I put on this list if it weren't for I got them both.
All right. You're number 3.
My number 3. Most well known for Seinfeld, this actress, absolutely crazy when you see her in. I'm not a Seinfeld fan, but it seems like between Elaine and Cosmo, they were the only 2 reasons, from what everybody says, they were the only 2 reasons to watch Seinfeld. Not a fan. Again,
I thought Kramer would have been.
Yeah, it's Cosmo Kramer.
Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha.
But still, I think my wife finally got a chance to see National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and she's not a fan of comedy, but she absolutely loved this movie. And the line that Clark, I can't quote the line about the Christmas tree,
About the Christmas tree?
The Christmas tree.
Where are you gonna put that one? Well, bend over, I'll show you.
and when she heard that, she broke down laughing, and
I don't know, Margot.
So, absolutely brilliant. She's amazing. When you find out that she was briefly on Saturday Night Live, it's crazy. My number 3 is Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
I'm just going to start right there because my number 3 is exactly the same 3 as you had. I actually thought I was going to sneak her in there. But yeah, her role in Christmas Vacation, we watch it every year. I think Jackson, my son, is down to the point that we can put it on mute and he can probably say every line of that movie.
So me and Lion King.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, she was good. I've watched Steinfeld here and there, and she was okay in that one. So all right, you're number 2.
My huge curveball. And I know we've never done this. This is the greatest because it's a curveball on a group on a person we've never done before. I don't think we've ever had somebody in this sport or in this frame. And we've been doing this. We've been doing this. What now? This would be this type of thing for a little over a year.
Yeah.
Where we do birthdays. My number 2 is a Hall of Fame trainer in horse racing. He's won the Triple Crown in both 1915. Yeah, no, he's still alive. 2015 and 2018. I've been lucky enough to have bet on horses in Baltimore, of horses that he has trained. He's like I said, he's a Hall of Fame trainer of race horses. My number 2 is Bob Baffert.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. I think we've done horses. I don't know if we've ever done a trainer. I think we've done a couple jockeys, but
I think we've done Secretariat. I know we've done Secretariat.
Yeah. So we're at number 2.
Go ahead.
No, it's not. It's not the horse trainer, but it is your number 4, Shad. Yeah, that was. And honestly, he probably would be number 1, like you said, on most lists. He could be number 1 here, but my number 1 is a guy I'll talk about later. But yeah, and I think reports that his son said that his dad's last words, or the rescuers have reported that his last words is, "I love you and I'll miss you," or something like that. So So that definitely is a guy who definitely lost too soon.
Way too soon.
Yeah. All right, you're number 1.
My number 1. I don't know quite if this is a curveball, and usually with us, our number 1s are usually pretty much a given. But I know that you watch this TV show. I watched this TV show. I love this TV show. Matter of fact, we have had on this show, I believe we've had Harry Anderson. We've had Harry Anderson on his birthday.
Yep.
I think we've had Marky Post on her birthday. I think the only 2 that we're missing, 3 missing, we're missing 4 missing. After this, 3. We don't have John Larroquette. We don't have the other couple. But my number 1 is the reason why I watched Night Court, and that was for Bull. Because I thought honestly, this guy would have been. I think this guy would have been an amazing lurch if they had done. If they had done a series, they had revamped the series of Addams Family. My number 1 is Richard Mull.
Wow, I did miss that one.
So I'm a bad feeling of who I missed at number 1.
Well, I put this guy at number 1 mainly because, to me, he's got probably the second or third best catch ever in Major League Baseball. And I don't know how he did it.
Jim Edmonds?
What?
Jim Edmonds?
No. You got Bo Jackson running up the wall. You got King Griffey.
Willie Mays.
You got Willie Mays. You got Torrey Hunter with the All-Star catch of Barry Bonds. You got Court Puckett.
Tell me you didn't. Tell me I didn't miss Kevin Mitchell.
You did miss Kevin Mitchell.
Okay.
So catch in left field where he barehanded it, and I do not know how that guy did not break his hand. I don't know how.
I missed that one.
But also looking at some other guys we looked, because I can't believe I missed Bull, because he definitely was a good actor. Would have been a great lurch. Honestly, if it wasn't for his height, he could have even been a good Uncle Fester.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But one guy we missed, and I kind of like him, and I'm surprised you missed him, being that every time you talk about a birthday and sport or music and stuff, you always have a country guy, Trace Adkins.
I met Trace Adkins, and that's even worse. I met Trace Adkins at the Packer Colts game in Indianapolis back in 98.
Nice.
97.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I definitely Bull should have been on there. I missed that one. That was because Rib would have not been on there then.
Can I give you some breaking news for you being
Go ahead.
You being a Minnesota Vikings fan?
Please tell me we're not signing Kirk Cousins.
No. I've got one better. CJ Ham is heading to the Pro Bowl to replace Kyle Juszczyk for the San Francisco 49ers. There you go.
CJ Ham, who honestly probably got 3 carries this year. Really?
Yeah, but
the Pro Bowl has turned into such, just like the MLB All-Star game, or not MLB All-Star game. Well, yeah, a lot of stars that go there, but the NBA All-Star game. CJ Ham, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think there's. The funny thing is, I don't even think there's like 15. I don't even think there's like 16 fullbacks in the league in the conference.
Yeah. That fullback position is gone. Wow. Okay. Well, breaking news: CJ Ham's
Pro Bowler.
All right. I wonder how many guys had to turn that down to get that. So that'll be something we break down on Sportsman here on Wednesday night. We'll break down CJ Ham road to the Pro Bowl. So, all right. So we did 2 that. God, we did 2. We'll move on to the 18th a few days ago. So,
oh God. This to me, I had so
this
much.
This is another one too that I thought it's like, okay, we could possibly go 5. I don't think we will because
we won't. We might. we might just because I doubled up on a spot.
Oh, okay.
But I wouldn't. You're a betting man. If you're a betting man, I wouldn't say 5.
No, I wouldn't either. I mean, we've only done 5 twice.
Twice, and we did it in the same show.
Yeah. So I will safely go 2. I can see 3.
I can see 3 with a possibility of 4.
Oh, okay. Well, because you doubled up, so it could be. So I will kick this off. I believe this guy was drafted by the Panthers. I think he's played a little bit with your Colts.
Nope.
Never
played for the Colts.
He did not play for the Colts? Okay.
He played for the Bears and he played for the Packers.
That's who it was, yeah. So I knew he played in the North a little bit. To me,
that should answer your question.
Good defensive end. But I don't know. I don't know if he would be a defensive end because he was kind of fit. He might be a linebacker in today's game. I don't know. But that's one Julius Peppers.
I think he'd be. I think they've gotten to the point where he would be the defensive end because they've all gotten smaller. Like Freeney, because I think Freeney started coming in. Freeney and Mathis came in. They were both thinner, leaner, faster. Yeah. Like J.J. Watt's a little leaner, thinner than a defensive tackle.
6'7", 225 is what he's listed at. But
holy smokes, he'd be a corner now. He'd be a safety at this point. 225.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, 295, 6'7".
Oh, 295. Oh, he'd be. I thought you said 225. I'm like, dude's a safety now.
Yeah, 295. But yeah, I mean his accomplishments went above and beyond.
He's a 295.
I don't believe, and
didn't he break Lawrence Taylor's record at North Carolina?
He might have. And the sad thing is his injury plagued him, and he probably could have been a Hall of Famer.
There's still talks that he might still make
there's still talks. First overall pick in 2020 or 2002. Second overall pick. I'm sorry. So, all right, number 5, Julius Peppers. Your number 5.
My number 5. I doubled up on number 5 just so we can start. We can start with the crying now. One. No, he wasn't part of that group. One is both of these guys have been in major factions in the WWE. And the funny thing is, I think when one was wrestling in younger and older promotions was a baby face, which I thought was really weird when you realize who he is, and he's the reason for the Undertaker being in the WWF at this point. and then part of the $1 million corporation, part of the $1 million. Oh, what the heck was that called? Was that the $1 million corporation?
Money Inc.
Money Inc. with him and
Yeah,
him,
he was. Yeah, I know.
IRS, otherwise known as Mike Rotunda. The other was a part of another faction with 3 guys that are going to walk themselves into the Hall of Fame. This faction should be in the Hall of Fame at this point. Matter of fact, one of them was in. There's one son was in a faction with the Royal Rumble. His son was in a faction with the Royal Rumble winner from this past weekend, one Cody Rhodes. In we all know that one. I can't ever remember that faction's name, but
Legacy.
Legacy. Thank you. One half of my number 5 is Ted DiBiase, and my other half is also known as Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy. Has absolutely become an absolute stunning actor. I love the stuff he does. Got booed for wearing tight pants on Monday Night Raw one night, which I thought was hilarious. But my number 5, my other half of my number 5 is Dave Bautista. Who did you miss? Which one?
I miss Batista, but at number 4 is your number 5. My number 4 got to meet the guy Ted DiBiase at an airport at McDonald's. As a matter of fact, walked in and shocked me. But yeah, number 5, Ted DiBiase. I did miss Dave Bautista, and the thing is I think the one thing that he's most likely a lot of wrestlers now are going to remember him for was going after Triple H, and all he would say is, "Give me what I want. Just give me what I want. Give me what I want." So yeah, I would have doubled up on it. We would have had the same double up because I would put Batista and Ted DiBiase together. All right, so you're number 4.
So you beat me by a spot. This isn't C2C unless we're sniping. My number 4 is your number 5. When I saw Julius Peppers, I thought about that, and I'm thinking, this guy won a Super Bowl with Green Bay. That's gotta make Bears fans really happy that you got him after he wins a Super Bowl in Green Bay. That's him going to the Hall of Fame is probably going to be a roundtable discussion for until he's off the ballot. But hey, if they haven't put Dwight Freeney and Robert Matheson yet, I don't think Julius Peppers should be in yet either.
Yeah, you're right there. So my number 3 is half of probably one of the iconic teams' sidekicks. I don't know what you really want to call them.
Okay, yeah.
My number 3 comedian back in the day. Not much of ha-ha comedy, maybe, but more of I don't know what kind of comedy you call it, but Oliver Hardy, Laura Hardy.
I saw that one. That one was a tough one for me to pass. That was a tough one for me to pass up on. I didn't, and this entire time, I always thought he was from Britain, and then you find out he's from Georgia. It's like, are you kidding me? This entire time, he's from Georgia. Okay, cool. I have no clue, but cool.
All right, you're number 3.
My number 3. If my sister was watching, she knew exactly where I'm going with this one at this point. If anybody in my family is watching on my mom's side, they would kind of know where I'm going with this too. As we know, my grandmother passed away back in December, and I had a nickname for my grandmother. Her name was Eeyore. I nicknamed her Eeyore. No, that's not. Eeyore wasn't born on January 18th. But I have this thing. For some reason, I have this affinity and this passion for Winnie the Pooh. I've always wanted to get tattoos. 2 tattoos. One where Winnie the Pooh was dressed up as Batman, and Tigger was dressed up as the Joker, and Piglet was dressed up as Robin.
Okay.
And I really, one of these days I think I'll get it, but it's not anytime soon. But my number 3 is the author of Winnie the Pooh, A.A. Milne.
I saw that and I saw that name and it just did not click right away. And I didn't really read the description that well. So that's a good one there. I like that one. Definitely like that one. My number 2.
Here it comes. Come on, which one? Which way did you go? Because I want to know who you put number 1. Because I've got two that could have been 1 or 2.
Yeah, I do too. So mine is. I think if you follow the sport, a lot of people outside of maybe if you count Phil Cosby in would be the second greatest hockey player. Definitely top 5. I think he paired up with Wayne Gretzky for a short time with the Rangers, I believe it was. My number 2 is.
He was in Edmonton too with Wayne too. I know
Okay.
who you went.
My number 2 is Mark Messier.
I didn't go that way. Well, I didn't figure you were going to go with. Oh my gosh, I didn't think you were going hockey.
All right, you're number 2.
We're not getting 4. Oh man, you went Messier. Oh damn it. Okay, that means my number 1 is clear, which means I've sniped your number 1. Means I've sniped your number 1 right here. To me, I think. Okay, I have to ask you this question.
Uh-oh.
Did you watch Kicking It on Thursday last week?
No, I missed it. I was going to watch it.
Okay. Now, okay. Oh my God. I don't normally. I'm not up early enough to watch the show, but I was up early enough to watch it. And the question that was posed to Isaiah. Oh my God. This is a crazy statement. I didn't think this was going to come back, and how apropos that Thursday comes back to today. The question, how Isaiah on Kicking It is nicely asked to review movies or to get the description of movies. And Callan wasn't on the show, but he had asked a special request.
Okay.
Or I recommend anybody who's watching to go back and watch the description of this movie by Isaiah on Kicking It. Because I'm afraid to say this at this point to you because I know you love the movie. He was asked to describe a baseball movie.
Oh no!
He was asked to describe Bull Durham.
Oh no!
He was asked to describe Bull Durham, and he said it was a. Oh my God! I cannot believe this.
I'm going to go watch this afterwards.
I know you are, and you should. He said it was a Western movie taking place in the 1900s. First, he said the 1800s, but then he changed it to the 1900s, where he was a loner and he was walking the West, and he got a. So I'm slaughtering, and for me to say I'm slaughtering something that Isaiah slaughtered is saying something. And said that he got a woman for riding a mechanical bull. First of all, and he said the 1900s, and I'm like, when were the mechanical bulls in the early 1900s? But that's, to me, that's fine. And which is hilarious. But my number 2, to me, was in probably 2 of the 3 top best baseball movies of all time, in For the Love of the Game and Bull Durham. But everybody else remembers him. Oh, all the women will remember him for Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and Dances with Wolves.
You're missing the baseball movie that he was in.
Bull Durham.
Yeah, there's another one too.
For the Love of the Game.
And there's another one too.
Oh Jesus!
Well, go ahead. You go ahead. Tell us who your number 2 is, and I'll bust your bubble on number 1.
Oh God! My number 2 is Kevin Costner.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely did get me at number 1 with Kevin Costner, so we'll give you credit for that. To me, I mean, definitely in the top 3 of the best baseball movies of all time, because you forgot Field of Dreams. Yeah, I would go Field of Dreams, Bull Durham, For the Love of the Game are definitely in the top three baseball movies.
How did-
But the thing with Kamikaze, it just seems like a lot of movies he touches has been like semi gold mines, semi hits. I mean, you got Draft Day, you have Dances with Wolves, you have the baseball
Robin?
movies. I know I'm forgetting another one he was in. He was in
Tin
one
Cup.
with Jennifer. He was in one with Jennifer Aniston.
The one he was in with Tin Cup. Was he? No.
Tin Cup. Yep, that was a
That's
good one. Something romance was.
I don't remember that one.
Oh God, what the heck was it? But no, it just seems like he's kind of like not really the Will Smith where everything he touches is award winning, but I think everybody has seen every movie that he's done. So yeah, Kamikaze is my number one. Your number one. I can't wait to see who I kind of missed here.
I went acting still. I still went with acting, but I went old Hollywood. I went old Hollywood royalty. I can honestly say I've been in a city where they filmed one of his movies with a Roman holiday where I was in Rome in October. He's done a lot of things. He's done North by Northwest, a good Alfred Hitchcock movie, but again, we're talking old Hollywood royalty. You hear the name. I think Kevin Costner actually said that this is one of his people, one of the people that he watched that wanted him, that made him become an actor to get into the business. My number one is Cary Grant.
Okay. Yeah, the movie I was talking about was Rumor Has It with him and Jennifer Aniston.
Okay.
But even just looking at some of Costner's movies, I didn't realize he had a lot of ties with, like the Superman movie, Man of Steel.
Yeah, he played
Justice League, Batman vs Superman.
He played Superman's dad. Clark Kent's dad. Yeah.
Okay, I guess I gotta go back and watch those again. I guess I just did.
He's in it briefly in like Justice League, but yeah.
Yeah, and then Yellowstone. Everybody tells me is a good story. I try to watch it. I haven't really gotten into it. I don't know.
I think I've gotten to a couple episodes, but usually to me, if I'm done by the third episode, I don't watch anymore. So
yeah, exactly. So, all right. So we got 3. Yeah. So it would have been 4 if I would have put Dave Bautista on there.
Then it probably would have been. Who did I miss? Yeah, that's right. We don't talk about that.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's move on to the 25th, which was 5 days ago. So happy birthday to everybody that had birthdays. This was a hard one for me.
This was difficult.
God, I don't know. I mean,
I can still sit there and see 3.
I can see 3. I can see 3 too, but I could also just kind of seeing us overlooking a couple and maybe not getting any.
I'll tell you right now, I doubled up on my third one.
Okay. All right. Well, kick it off with your number 5.
All right. So purely by happenstance, this is going to be kind of a curveball. I don't know if you saw it because I think you and I go to the same website to do our
most of the time.
Yep. And when you see the word alleged son of, it's kind of weird. You don't know if you should put him on the list or not, but I did, which is kind of funny because we decided to do January 8th, which was really shocking when I saw the first person that was born on January 8th was named Elvis Presley. It is kind of weird when I look at January 25th, 1973, and I see a name that I've already written down in my computer. I guess this isn't really a curveball if you got the same look that I had when I saw it, when I said the word alleged. My number 5 is Elvis Presley Jr.
Yeah, what are the odds? And the thing is that's what stuck out with me too. And yeah, so I'll give you a snipe on that one. I actually just Googled him up too. So Elvis Aaron Presley Jr. Jr.
he might be a third. I know he'd be a second.
Yeah. Elvis Presley Jr., a performer of U.S. for the USA, has claimed that he is Elvis's son. However, other than Junior claimed, there is no DNA. So to show that he's the half brother of Lisa Marie. So
Hey, I'm
but
just
yeah,
going.
I had to throw it up there because, like you said, alleged. And I actually thought when I did, I'm like, oh, he's going to put it up higher just to see if I went higher. You know, it was kind of that trend. I was trying to outthink yourself. So yeah, my number 5 is your number 5. All right, your number 3.
My number 4.
4, yeah. I'm sorry.
All right. To be honest, this on most lists, this woman probably should be higher. I have a female singer. It was one of those when I saw her name on the list, I'm like, okay. But then I remember I kind of like some of the stuff she does. She's got a really good voice. She's just really got a soulful voice. Plays the hell out of a piano. And when you hear her kind of on the same song with Jay-Z, it kind of it works. My number 4 is Alicia Keys. Go ahead, put it on the board.
You gotta be kidding me, dude. Yes, I have Alicia Keys at number 4. Yeah, I mean, her voice, like you said, is just amazing. So Eric Gunn showing up. Hey, Eric Gunn. Yeah, Eric Gunn. Yeah, that's the name.
Yeah.
All right. Yellowstone gets better after the first season for sure. Okay, so that's something that we gotta definitely kind of maybe go back and watch a little bit. So I'll definitely. So I'm afraid to even keep going because it just seems like. So let's see your number 3.
I'm doubled up. Remember, I'm doubled up on number 3. How do I go about this? Well, one half of my number 3 is a former teacher of the school where my daughter graduated from.
Really? Okay.
Yep. But when my daughter got there, she was already gone to bigger and better things. She ended up working in the same company as my other half of my number 3. To me, my first half of my number 3, which is a cousin of one Jerry the King Lawler, to me, the greatest intercontinental champion of all time. I'm going to give you the Honky Tonk Man at one half of my number 3. And my other, and it was kind of funny that you brought it up during our conversation about WrestleMania. My other half of my number 3 is one Mrs. Mark Calloway, otherwise known as Michelle McCool. I want to thank you.
And the thing is not just that you sniped me at one of them, but you sniped me at both of them. You know,
I want to thank
and
you.
what are the odds that we sit there and talk about Elvis Presley Jr., and then we got the Honky Tonk Man whose gimmick was Elvis singer, you know, a wrestling ripoff. But yeah, Michelle McCool definitely. Speaking of Royal Rumble, she was, you know, we talked about her being front row. And guys, you guys might think we did this on purpose, but no, we laid out the dates a few days ago. I did.
We laid out the few dates. We laid out the dates yesterday.
Yeah. So, and Tim lives halfway around the world, so it's not like we talk every day. So, so let's go. Let's see if we can do number 2 and 1 together. Let's go.
Holy smokes!
Let's go number 2.
My number 2 at this point, I don't know. I'm already shocked that we got 4 out of 3. If we go 6 out of 5, this would be crazy. I doubt it. Oh man, I don't know. When I was a kid, Disney always had these movies. No, I'm trying to read you like I do playing poker, and you're not giving me anything. I always remember this guy for being in the certain type of movie about a car.
Okay.
I'm still trying to read you like this is poker. And the car is a Volkswagen Beetle that everybody remembers as Herbie. My number 2 is Dean Jones, the guy who used to drive Herbie in the Herbie movies.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, we're not going. We're not breaking any record, but yeah. But just the fact that we got the same 3 bottom ones, right? But anyway, my number 2 going with the Homer side of things. Part of the Purple People Eaters. I think today he would still be even a force to be reckoned with on that defensive line. And that's one Carl Ellard.
Yeah, I saw that one,
right.
and I was going to say I could snipe, but I'm going to let him have his Homer pick.
All right, you're number 1.
My number 1. You remember trying to listen to good baseball in Iron Mountain, right?
Okay.
The only time you could the only station that had baseball was out of Escanaba.
Yep.
And they had the Detroit Tigers. You couldn't listen to the Brewers in the Upper Peninsula in Northeast Wisconsin. And I'm a Brewers fan, so it was always nice to listen to Detroit games back when Milwaukee was still in the American League. So then I could hear Brewers games.
Yep.
But the Tigers had a broadcaster that I absolutely loved, even though he didn't call Brewers games. And I believe he's in the Hall of Fame. We lost him, I want to say 15 years ago. It's been a while. But my number 1 is the Tigers radio broadcaster, Ernie Harwell.
Okay. Well, my number 1, we're going to go with hockey. Another guy, for non-hockey fans might know the name, especially if you live in the state he was born in, or even follow, ESPN back in the day. You know the guy, and that's one Chris Chelios.
I hate Chris Chelios.
So yeah, a lot of people like him. So,
yeah.
But that is kind of ironic.
Yeah, if you're a Blackhawks fan, you love Chris Chelios.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's go into the last date before we get into our list that we're going to break down that I got. Let's go to the 30th. So today's birthday. So happy birthday to anybody that has a birthday today. You get the honor to sharing these with these 10, maybe less people that we are going to name off.
I'm going to tell you that I have five men on my list.
Wow. All right. So 5 is out.
You sure?
I got it. All right. This is honestly out of the 6 dates, this is the one that I can see us really getting 5 for 5.
Oh, we could.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I'm gonna go say on a 3.
I'd say 4, and I'm saying this, and I think 5 would be tough because there was a lot of people on this day. We could have. I think
if we lose it, we're going to lose it on my number 1. I think.
Maybe.
All right. Well, so it's mine to start.
Okay.
So I know the name. I don't think I've seen the movie that he portrayed the character that we grew up watching in Batman. Everybody says he does play pretty good Batman to me. Michael Keaton's still probably one of the best Batmans. But my number 5 is Christian Bale. You're number 5.
My number 5. My number 5 is the drummer and has probably one of the most iconic drum solos at the beginning of a song in movie history, in music history. I just found out that I didn't realize this, that he actually cameoed himself in Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories. Didn't realize that until I watched something today. But if most people are big fans of Robin Williams and Dustin Hoffman in the movie Hook, he portrays a detective in the opening scenes after, I can't believe when Robin Williams' kids are kidnapped by Captain Hook. Became the lead singer of a band of his band after Peter Gabriel left, and then he fronted Genesis. My number 5, which is funny because if anybody's ever watched Trailer Park Boys, there is a character called Philadelphia Collins that is portrayed in the TV series, which is absolutely nothing like my number 5. But my number 5 is Phil Collins.
Solid name.
Solid name. Solid name. It's not one that we're going to get screwed on.
All right. So my number 4, to me, I'm going to go with one of the great coach speeches I've heard. As a matter of fact, I'll give it out. It's not a coach; it's an actor. And then for his team to stand up to him when they wanted to get rid of him as a coach, and the star player that never wanted to touch a basketball game came in and said that he'll play basketball, which got the little council up in arms and cheering. And then he stated that he's only going to play for this coach. So they all re-voted and voted him in. It's from the movie Hoosiers, and that's one Gene Hackman.
I just have to remember things. That's all.
You're number 4.
My number 4. If it weren't for Nia Jax, we wouldn't have the man. We wouldn't have. When I say we this is a man category, my number 4 would agree with me. In fact is that my number 4 wears the pants in the family compared to Seth Rollins. My number 4 is one Rebecca Knox, otherwise known as the man Becky Lynch. Big time Bex.
Yep. 2-time Bex, big time Bex, the man Becky Lynch. Just got a book out too. Hopefully I'll check it out. But yeah, Rebecca Knox I even put it down as that to try to maybe throw you off a little bit. But yeah, Becky Lynch. So she's my number 3. So you're number 4. So you're number 3.
My number 3, well, it's C2C. If it ain't C2C, we ain't sniping. You ain't trying. You ain't sniping. My number 3 is your number 5. Of course, I'm going to have Batman on my list.
Yeah, I figured you were. So that's your number 3. So, my number 2. I know we could have probably popped a couple different leaders of countries on a couple of these lists, and we avoided. But I can't not put this one on there. The 32nd President of the United States, Franklin D. Roosevelt, at number 2.
Your curveball at number 1 is huge because I don't know what it is at this point. I'm going to tell you my number 2 is sniped. At number 4, honestly, the greatest coach in a sports movie in cinematic history. And people are going to say Denzel Washington, Remember the Titans. If you say that, I agree. It's a good coach movie. But I'm honestly, you don't know coaching movies until you've seen Gene Hackman and Hoosiers.
Yep. All right. My number 1, I thought was going to be a decent curveball, but you started it off at number 5. I love listening to Phil Collins. I actually listened to I Can't Dance the other day. Yeah. So I had when you said Hook, I'm like, who the heck? I'm trying to think, because I watched that, and I have to go back and watch that clip again, and I didn't know he was in there, but yeah, and I didn't know about the Grand Theft Auto, and
I didn't either
some,
until today, which I thought was really, really weird.
and the thing is you talk about the great drum solos and stuff. Some people say that best drum solo guy is I can't think of his name now.
Neil Peart from Rush.
No, Pamela Anderson's old husband.
No, I'm a Motley Crue guy, and I will tell you that Tommy Lee is not the best drummer ever.
All right.
Yeah, you're thinking of Tommy
Yes,
Lee.
I got Phil Collins at number 1. All right, so you're number 1.
Well, what's today's date? January 30th, right? January 30th. How odd is it that on January 30th that we go 5 for 5? My number 1 is your number 2. Yeah, I saw Franklin Delano Roosevelt. I went, yeah, the moment I saw him, he was number 1. Everybody else was just falling in line. He did so much.
I mean, I could have done that too. Yeah, he did. And, one, I'm not, as you know, and a lot of people know, I don't go political views, but I know he did a lot, So, yeah, he could have been number 1. I'm just a big Phil Collins fan. I like him. So,
I do too. And the thing is, the funny thing is, I had Dick Cheney on this list too, up until I said until I saw Becky Lynch, and I'm like, no. Cheney's off this list, and Becky Lynch is going to be back on it. So.
Yeah, I saw, like I said, there's a couple other ones that we could have done, leaders of other countries. So, all right, so let me pull up my list here for, as we all know, Saturday was Royal Rumble. We'll be breaking that down on Between the Ropes tonight. So I got a list here from GameRant.com.
Did I see this one?
Of the best top 12 Rumbles that they have. Just the year. They list the matches. I know it's going to be hard for us to really kind of remember, but I'll go through them. Number 12, they had the Royal Rumble of 2002, the Star-Studded Rumble underrated title match of January 20th. The card
was that the 1 versus 29?
No, that was Triple H won the Rumble. It was Jericho versus The Rock for the title. You had Flair versus you had a street fight with McMahon versus Flair. Women's title match was Trish Stratus versus Jazz. Intercontinental match, Ed versus Regal. And then the tag title match was the Dudleys. It was Spike Dudley and Taz versus the Dudley Boys.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
They did the whole and so they did the whole card. Okay.
Yeah, they list the whole card. Number 11, we had the Royal Rumble of a few years ago, 2019. I believe that was the first women's Royal Rumble. I think it was
2019. I know they've done 7. They've done 7 Royal Rumbles.
No, it wasn't the first Rumble, because so the matches were the women's SmackDown Championship, Asuka versus Becky Lynch for the title. The tag title matches was the Bar versus the Miz and Shane. That was the greatest tag team, or greatest in the world tag team, or something like that. They were trying to do. That's where Miz was trying to get Shane to team with them.
Oh, okay.
So that led up to that. Ronda Rousey versus Sasha Banks for the title. The Women's Royal Rumble, where Becky Lynch won. The WWE title match, Bryant versus AJ Styles. Universal title match, Brock versus Finn Balor. And then the Men's Royal Rumble, where Seth won it.
That was the following year where the WrestleMania, that was WrestleMania. I'm thinking it's Money in the Bank.
I think that was that's the WrestleMania with the heist. No, that was Money in the Bank.
I think that wasn't that Seth versus Dean?
Might have been. You might be right. All right, so let's go into the number 10, Royal Rumble 05.
05.
That was let's see, that was actually today, January 30th, 2005. The matches were Shawn Michaels versus Edge, the casket match, Heinrich versus Undertaker. They messed up the winner because they have the winner as Charlotte Flair. Okay, that makes no sense. The WWE title match, JBL versus Big Show versus Angle. World title, JBL versus Kurt Angle.
JBL.
Yep,
Okay, JBL. Okay.
And then the World Heavyweight title match, Orton versus Triple H. And Batista was the winner of the Royal Rumble.
That was the one after. That was the one where that was the one right after where Orton got kicked out of Evolution.
No, that was the one where, yeah, I think you're right. But then that's the one where Batista did this when they were putting up the contract.
It was the night after.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Night after, a week after, I think. I don't know if he decided right away, but anyways, number 9, the Royal Rumble 92.
92. Was that Hogan? Was that Hogan Flair?
Yep. So 92 had. Yeah, that's where Flair won the Rumble. Yep. I think that's where Flair went 1-30.
Right.
So you had the WWE. You had the first tag match was Oriental Express versus the Foundation, the new Foundation. So that was, I think, Owen Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart, I think. WWE Intercontinental match, Piper versus the Mountie. The Beverly Brothers versus the Bushwhackers. The WWE Tag Team title match, LOD versus the Natural Disasters. And then Flair winning the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that's where Flair backstage when it was the greatest. That was the tear with a tear in my eye or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Tear in my eye.
Yep. And then we got number 8, the 2000 Rumble, which had matches of Edge or Kurt Angle versus Taz. You got a tag team tables match, the Dudleys versus the Hardys.
I remember that Rumble.
Undisputed WWE Intercontinental title was Chris Jericho versus Chyna versus Hardcore Holly. That was when Chyna and Jericho were co-champions.
Right.
And then you had the tag title matches, the New Age Outlaws versus the Acolytes. WWE Championship Street Fight, Triple H versus Cactus Jack.
That's the one where what is it? I remember that one because that was in Madison Square Garden because that was the one where was that the one where Taz choked out Angle, and then what was it? That one piece of the pallet that what was it? It was either Triple H or Mick Foley had landed on it and punctured their leg or something.
Yeah, I recall. And then The Rock won the Rumble on that one.
Yeah.
The number 7, 2018 Rumble. We have that was let's see here. We had the handicap championship match, AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. So I think that was if either one of them pinned, they both were champions, I think, at the time.
Right.
Would have been. WWE SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos versus Chad Gable and Sultan Benjamin. The Men's Royal Rumble winner at that time was Shinsuke Nakamura. That had that as the third match. Raw Tag Team title, Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan versus Sheamus and Cesaro. That's where Jason Jordan, I think, had some head issues or something and couldn't see straight, and Seth wanted to wrestle by himself. Right. Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman for the title, and then this was the year for the first women's Royal Rumble, and that was Asuka winning it. Why won't it let me scroll down anymore? Okay, I guess we're stopping at 8 because my 7. Oh, there we go. Okay, number 6 Rumble was the 2008 Rumble, and actually that was the year too. Wasn't that that Rumble? Wasn't that where Ronda Rousey came out at the end of that Rumble?
Was it 8? Might have been.
No, with the women. Wasn't that her first appearance? I could be wrong on that one.
Oh, well.
Anyway, so 2008 Rumble was number 6. Also, it's held at Madison Square Garden. I think that was the return of John Cena. I think.
Yeah, when he came in at 30.
So MVP versus Ric Flair kicked it off. Chris Jericho versus JBL. Edge and Mysterio for the title. Edge won that one. The WWE Championship, Orton versus Hardy, and then John Cena wins the Rumble that year.
Is that the year that both Hardy because that was Cena and Batista that went out at the same time, and it wasn't, and Batista didn't. Batista was already had a match that day. But yeah, that's the one where where Triple H is standing in the ring and he hears Cena's thing and he looks like he had just shoot a brick. Yeah.
Yep. And then we have last year's Royal Rumble, 2023. That is the first the first Rumble under the Triple H era. So the men's Royal Rumble, Cody Rhodes, of course, won it. Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight in the what is that? The Mountain Dew
the pitch black Mountain Dew match. That was his last televised match.
Yep. The WWE Raw Women's Champion Belair versus Bliss. Rhea Ripley wins the Women's Royal Rumble, and then the Universal title match, Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens, and that is where Sami Zayn turned on his Uso brothers.
Yeah, and beat the living tar out of him because that was in.
My God, were those some chair shots?
Toronto? Those were in Toronto. That was in Toronto, wasn't it?
That was San Antonio.
Okay.
All right, now we're getting down there to number 3 here. The 07 Royal Rumble. Also in San Antonio, Texas.
Jeez. Okay.
M versus the Hardy Boys. ECW World Championship, Bobby Lashley versus Tess. The World Heavyweight title, Batista versus Mr. Kennedy. WWE Championship Last Man Standing match, John Cena versus Umaga. And Royal Rumble, the winner was Undertaker.
2 of those guys aren't with us anymore. That's screwed up. Because
Yeah.
Umaga's not Umaga and somebody else used to have that list.
Yeah. The 2020 Royal Rumble, this was the one at Minute Maid Park. I think it was the first one that they did in stadiums like they do WrestleMania, I believe. I think this was like the first one they did. That was at Minute Maid Park in Houston.
Right.
So Falls Count Anywhere's match, Roman Reigns versus King Corbin. Women's Royal Rumble winner was Charlotte Flair. WWE Women's SmackDown title.
You said that was Roman versus Corbin?
Yeah.
Well, that was the one where they handcuffed. Who'd they handcuff to the stanchion? And
Corbin, and they dumped dog food all over him. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley versus Lacey Evans. Universal Champion The Fiend versus Daniel Bryan. WWE Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch versus Asuka, and the Royal Rumble winner was Drew McIntyre.
I remember that one.
And the number one Rumble, according to this website, Games Rant, is the 01 Royal Rumble. Matches included WWE Tag Team Champions Edge and Christian versus the Dudley Boys. Intercontinental Champion ladder match, Benoit versus Jericho.
Oh my gosh.
Women's Champion Ivory versus China. WWE Champion Triple H versus Kurt Angle, the champion versus Triple H. And one of his 3 wins at the Royal Rumble, Steve Austin wins it.
That's that one.
Yeah, one of the 3. I don't know which one it was. So. But anyway, with that being said,
he did 2000, he did 90, 97, 98, and 2001.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, he went back to back, and then he off a year or 2, and then won again. So, with that being said, Tim, final thoughts on what you got going on?
I love these things. We do these things. I love these birthday things. We've got plenty of days left. Don't get us wrong. It'd be sucky when we run out of days. But I didn't think we were going 5 for 5, especially on today. For today's days, that was kind of weird. Thanks to everybody for watching, Eric, and anybody else who doesn't show up in the comments. Watch, like Big B has said, we've got beyond between the ropes
tonight.
Between the ropes tonight. Not really sure about much of other stuff. I was really good at this for a while. Sports Minute. We're going to hopefully Sunday we'll break down the AFC and NFC championship games. Last week it was me and Bacon. I don't know how many people watched last night's show. I kind of missed last night's show. Callan's little show, the one that you were on. We should try to make them more like something like that more often.
Yeah, last night it was just an impromptu show. Kind of spinning out 4 bros or bro. I forgot what they renamed it now, but didn't really have topics. Just wanted to kind of just chit chat. Yeah, bro code. Well, kind of like that, kind of like kicking it. Late night, Callan just was under the weather, so he wanted to get on TV, or on a stream, so he threw it out there. So it's like, hey, let's go on there. Me and Sarge are on there. Tonight's Between the Ropes. Tomorrow's Sports Minute. Thursday, hopefully we get kicking in. I will have to get on there. I will watch the episode again because I want to really hear Isaiah's immaculate breakdown of Bull Durham. I don't know. Saturday or Friday night, Entertainment Hour with James. But with that being said, also too, I know Tim, we talk about collecting cards. I'll be sending out my first set of cards to be graded. I will do a show. I don't know if I'll do a Sports Minute when I get them back, or maybe I'll just do them. I'll rank them here when we get them. But anybody looking into trading cards, definitely check that out. It's a new card service that I found. I know PSA is still the top one. I'll probably send a couple cards to them that I like, but we'll see. So we'll see how they come out graded. But again, with that being said, just keep checking us out. We got a lot of things coming. We got Oregon Cougars football getting ready to ramp up here. Definitely draft time. You'll see Chris and Tim do their breakdown of the draft picks again as planned. With that being said, we'll see y'all next time on C2C Rakem. Have a good one.